Okay, so we've started kind of in the front of the room, and we've kind of started in the back. So why don't we start in the middle here at kind of our ELA group? What were some things that you saw, or some of the conversation you had as you were putting them into the different levels?
We talked about, are there multiple steps being asked from the student?
Okay.
And then what is the highest depth of knowledge necessary for them to complete all of those steps?
Okay, so multiple steps within the example itself, and then if there were, what was that highest level asked? And then, okay, great. Which table would like, yeah, go ahead.
Became a little bit more aware of how often we stay at level 1.
So in reading through those examples, okay.
I mean, even level 2 seems to be something that we're reluctant to
Okay.
sophisticated thinking.
Okay.
Well, for
Sure. So getting to know the language better, you're more heightened to how a lot of the things we are doing are at level 1. Okay, great. Yeah.
We were talking about how in the past, when we were thinking about being more rigorous in our instruction, that actually a lot of the level 2 tests were what we thought was rigorous.
Okay.
And, now we're looking here and seeing, we need to kick it up a notch.
So redefining what level 2 is, but even just rigor in general.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
We were looking, with the ones, it just seemed like a basic single step, or a define, or identify, and then, trying to decide between 1s and 2s, but the 2s took it a step further, we actually had to describe, or comparing to
Okay.
the rest. The 3s and 4s too were sometimes iffy, but the 4s we kind of realized, is a new product coming out of it? Are you creating something new beyond just the multi-step
Okay.
process?
Okay. So looking at how many skills steps are being asked to put into application, and then with level 4 saying, wow, there's something that you might not even have imagined as an end product that they're going to be generating their own. Okay, great. And up here?
We were just talking about on the different levels here, that 1 and 2, obviously there seems to be more of those 1 and 2 than 3 and 4s here. And the thinking was that maybe it's because they're so easier for the kids to understand and comprehend at the basic level, and easier for the teachers, to incorporate those kinds into the test.
Okay.
But we were also talking about on levels 3 and 4 that maybe is based upon thematic, structure, as well as abstract thinking.
Okay.
And so, incorporating those things as a teacher, synthesizing a test would be much more difficult, and maybe that's why we're avoiding
Okay.
those areas.
Okay. So you're seeing kind of a themed nature, and that would be that many pieces of content fitting together to create an end understanding.
And if you have a thematic, structure to your curriculum, then all 4 cores, could be incorporated into
So you're even talking across content areas.
Cross-content, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. John?
We looked at the verbs in like the level 1, recall, level 2 skills, concepts. Level 3 piece and more of the higher level, like translate, interpret, analyze. And then the 4 had like rationalize, conduct. We looked at a lot of the verbs.
Okay.
Separated them. That was cool.
Okay. So the verb language and using that to help make a determination. Great. 3 more tables, does it? Yeah.
One of the things that we had talked about is as the levels went up, the amount of, the sources or the complexity of their background knowledge, and then looking at more than one source to solve the problem.
Okay.
So having to synthesize their background knowledge with a few different sources to come up with
Okay.
answers or their projects.
So taking what they know and other given things and putting that together to come up with a solution, whatever that may be. Okay. Great.
We talked about how sometimes things might seem like a basic skill, but they're not. Vocabulary
Sure.
is the main point
Sure.
for us because of the lack of background.
Okay. So even looking at where our students are at, even if it is a DOK 1, that could be more challenging based on how we kind of set it up, and probably thinking about what the student's needs might be as well. Great.
Ours, we looked at the verbs as well, like the back table, but then we were kind of caught between a few that are in between that they might start, they may begin at one level but end up in a higher level.
Okay.
So we could kind of
Sure. And there's kind of a fine line to that, right? So where the verb itself may fit in two categories, well, then it becomes on how they're applying that verb and where that goes. And that actually works well because our next piece, sorry, if you are following along in the PowerPoint, these next are just kind of what I could have read to you, but I did give to you as informational use. So here's a DOK1 and then some of the different, oh shoot, I didn't know it was going to be all this way. Sorry. But I'm going to skip through to the end of the DOKs. But these are just different, those different examples listed out for you so you can kind of get a feel where they fit.